Well, here we haven't heard from the Aussies in a while. And, in Australia, they've done a lot of banning of anime, manga, uh, the some of the toys, some of the models, uh, accessories, magazines. I know some stuff has been flowing back in recently due to certain wins in the courts in Australia, but not everything is back to normal yet because there is still a constant censoring of these anime and manga in Australia. And the thing is that when you look to the perspective, and let me put this in your mind. We just had Velma come out this past week, and you saw what was going on with that. We had kids kids kissing, and looks like getting into some sort of sexual situations and stuff like that. And this is a cartoon. Now, is Australia going to block that on HBO overseas? Are they going to block that? I don't really think so. I really truly don't think so. And the reason is that certain things, certain titles and stuff like that that comes out like a la cuties and this and many others that they're okay with. But other things which basically doesn't really have a problem, it's really good, like an anime. A lot of the animes out there, good stories. There's always something for everyone in the anime business and the manga as well. And the thing about it is, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. That's people have to realize that. There are things out there that you wouldn't watch, and it goes for Hollywood movies, stuff on television. Not everyone watches everything, and this is what people need to learn. It's like if you don't like it, don't watch it. It was, do you think it was meant for you if you didn't like the subject matter? No. They didn't want you to watch it. If you want to watch it, go right ahead. But if you don't have to. And one particular anime has been banned, and not the entire anime. Season 2 of this anime has been banned in Australia. But before we start, thank you for those who have subscribed, like, share. We really do appreciate that. Let's keep it up. We're trying to get to 700. Thank you to all of those on all of our social media platforms, as it's getting harder and harder to work on YouTube, but we're not going anywhere. YouTube will have to kick us off before we leave YouTube. I mean, literally, they will have to kick us off. So thank you for those who've tuned in, and we really do appreciate that. So, from Otaku Magazine, Australia Party bans How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega. If you haven't seen this, I've watched this, I think there is a third season coming, and I really did enjoy this. I really, really, it is a fun. Yes, there's a lot of fan service in this series. Yes, on there, but it's done in a comedic way. And this is the one thing, is that, sexy can be funny too. You have to remember that also. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega, the second season of the series, is not winning over the powers to be in Australia. The Australian Classification Board declared the mature anime has had refused classification. The government website for the ratings explained that refused classification, RC, is a classification category referring to the films, computer games, and publications that cannot be sold, hired, advertised, or legally imported into Australia. RC classification materials contain content that is very high in impact and falls outside the generally accepted community standards. How Not to Summon Demon Lord, the first season of the anime, has previously gotten an MA 15 plus rating, which is described this way. MA 15 plus rated material contains strong content and is legally restricted to people over the age of 15. It contains elements such as sex scenes and drug use that could have had strong impact on the viewer. there's not really sex in this. I mean, there's there's a difference between implied, which is like you don't see anything, but there might be a squeezing of a butt, squeezing of a breast, by accidental, which is like I said, the comedic on there, but not really in this anime series. A person may be asked to show proof of age before purchasing or viewing the MA15 plus film or computer game. On the government's page, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega, there is a section that lists the reason for the refused classification. However, the reason is not given. Instead, it says, for further information regarding the reason for this, please contact us. This may not be good for fans of the franchise, but the anime is not completely banned. It technically can be sold on home video, but there is a loophole where it still can be streamed in the country. Crunchyroll is currently streaming the anime and gave its description for it. And for those of you who haven't seen this yet, it's basically a video game player gets pulled into a isekai world by two girls who wanted to enslave him, but he's overpowered as a demon lord, and they go on adventures together, fighting other creatures and a lot of comedic, sexual fan service that happens throughout. I mean, the comedic part of it is that he's trying to keep his demon lord composure when it comes to accidentally holding on to their breast by accident, or I think I know what the problem was. I think I know what there is a situation, and I'm surprised because I think it's in season 1 where they pull a demon out, and it's funny, and they pull the demon out of one of the characters from her private parts, and he has to put his hand in there. Actually, I think it's his finger in there and pull that demon out. But it's not done in a way where, it's not a redo the healer type where you see this and that. It's done in a, how can I say, like a color collage to the situation, and yeah, it's a little racy, but nothing above anything else that is seen in a couple of numerous horror films that would be much more intense, that are not banned in Australia. Tell you that for a definite nature of that, where it just gets a bit gruesome. I mean, like for example, the chest bursting in Aliens. I mean that's aliens coming out of people's chests, and don't forget the ones out of Alien versus Predator, those chest busters, and how women's impregnation was done in that. But this is what happens where you have a party that basically just wants to censor everything there. They've already taken away their guns. They're pushing people out basically to make sure they get the poke, that they do what is supposed to be what the Australian government wants them to do in this country. I mean, we're two steps to totalitarianism in Australia itself. New Zealand is similar to New Zealand, which is practically there in New Zealand. I mean, you have police going to people's homes, telling them that they can't be posting certain things on social media, they can't post their thoughts, or they could be like in one place standing in a corner, and the thought police come for them if they're praying, and I think that was in the UK. You could be praying on the corner step, and then suddenly the cops tell you can't do that and arrest you. This is where we've gotten in the world these days, and it's amazing. And the thing is that they try to throw this as cheese pizza when it comes to the anime, and it's not cheese pizza. It's not. The true cheese pizza is out there, and they're not really doing anything about it. You hear about an arrest here and there, but they're not really delving into the true underbelly of the cheese pizza industry. They won't go after. They'll go after anime and manga because basically, they're good entertainment. I mean, there are anime and mangas out there that doesn't have any a fan service, anything in nature. It's just regular. I mean, I think you have a new one out there that's like campfire cooking. I think there's one of them. Another one is a handyman in an isekai world. Figure those out. How people saying like, how all this entertainment and all that, oh, it's just bad for the people. Kids shouldn't be watching it. It's anime has been around for years, decades actually. Let's put that. Same thing with manga. Nothing has really changed, other than some of the animation styles. The characters have fan service has been around for a long time, and Japan is not going to change. It's not going to change at all, and the fans are not going to change. We're going to continue to absorb this content. When you have shit like Velma out there, and Big Mouth, and a lot of others that basically, you have people saying like, hey, you should be watching that. You can't criticize that. If that, you're racist. But yet, those items should be banned. I mean, have they banned Big Mouth in Australia? Have they really, truly? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So, it's the hypocrisy of the situation. They'll ban one end and they won't ban the other. It's basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to restrict free speech. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to frighten you, throw words at you like cheese pizza and many others, white supremacy and all this, and say like, oh no, this you can't have this. And they take away that, they'll start to move to other subject matters. They'll go after the comedy, they'll go after the action films, they'll go after everything that you enjoy to watch and read. Remember, manga has overtaken the comic book industry. Comic book industry is literally died. There is, other than the independent creators, the true nature of the comic book industry is dead to the consumer world, and manga has taken over. And if you don't believe me, walk into your bookstore, especially those here in the West. Walk into your Barnes & Noble, walk into others. See how many shelves that they have put out for manga recently. There are more and more stores cropping up that are manga stores instead of comic book stores. Think about that for a moment. So comment below. Tell me your thoughts of the whole situation. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.